Just make sure everything's working okay. Alright, so I think we're good. Alright, guys. I'm back for another video. Yeah, I didn't want to be done with Madden just yet. So we're starting up a new rebuild, and I'm going with a team that's a little bit intriguing because I looked at the ratings for this team, and it's 77s across the board. And, you know, the Titans got some intriguing storylines when it comes to this team. You know, in real life, Eddie George is likely going to... Derrick Henry is more than likely moving on, but in reality, I feel like in this franchise mode, I might want to keep him around. But yeah, we're 77s across the board, and this team really doesn't have really a sense of direction, in my opinion. As far as Mike Vrabel, I feel like that I might want to keep him around after this year, even if we don't make the postseason. Despite the fact that they're going to make a lot of changes this offseason with, you know, the new coach they've got and everything like that, this team, I think, still has some potential. As far as our quarterback situation, and that's the thing, it has a little bit of an intriguing quarterback situation in terms of Ryan Tannehill and Will Levis are around the 70s. Malik Willis, I don't think, is really any long-term solution for this team. We may even look to trade him if he's not really in the future for us. But this season, I'm thinking that we're going to rock with Ryan Tannehill as our starting quarterback just because of the experience. He may retire after this season. I don't really know. But this is the best player on our team, Derrick Henry, our starting running back. And he's somebody that I feel like you don't just let walk away. I feel like if we can negotiate a deal with him, keep him around for a couple more seasons until he really starts to wear down. He's only been in the league for 7 years. And I know that, you know, technically he's probably declined just a little bit, but he's not at the level that Zeke was when he was starting to decline and really was, you know, that. And plus, Derrick Henry is one of the best running backs in the NFL. Behind him, you know, Spears, not really a guy out of Tulane that you know, still has some developing to do, but definitely not somebody you're really looking at as a future guy. Got Haskins, you got Chestnut, and you got Jonathan Ward. We have no fullback, so I'll probably go out and sign one. D-Hop, 89 overall, our best receiver. Not a scheme fit guy, but still, in my opinion, might be worth keeping around and probably getting another good receiver to go alongside of him, other than Treylon Burks. I mean, Burks is a guy that I actually traded for in one of my other rebuilds, and he helped out for a Super Bowl run. But, you know, Burks is a solid receiver. Chris Moore and Kyle Phillips, these guys are really average at best. And our tight ends, not very good. Skronsky, left guard, 77, another 73, 73, 69. We gotta rebuild this entire O-line. Autry still looks pretty solid, but 80 overall, I don't really think there's too much investment there. But Jeffrey Simmons, 87 defensive end, looks pretty solid. Davidson, yeah, our defensive tackles need, but there's a lot of other positions outside that just really need massive upgrades, because I feel like this is a rebuild that's not from the ground up rebuild. I mean, Sean Murphy-Bunting and McCreary, decent corners, but hey, but this team definitely could use a lot of rebuilding in a lot of areas. But I feel like that the rebuild itself should be around, can we get a real true franchise quarterback, or maybe it is Will Levis and it's just a matter of giving him the keys to the car. Or, you know, is it a deal where we just build around Derrick Henry, you know, and DeAndre Hopkins? We build around these two playmakers and just see what we can do to get the Titans back to fighting for the top of the division. That's the route that I'm thinking about taking with this Tennessee Titans rebuild, but, you know, we'll wait and see. But first things first, let me actually go ahead and sign a fullback to our roster because we don't have one, and I feel like to have a decent running game, it's good to have a real fullback in there as opposed to moving like your backup tight end into that role as far as the depth chart is concerned in this game. So I'm going to go out and I'm going to give myself a fullback to kind of just plug in there. Let's see who's even out here. You know, Janovich is a guy that I always sign, but you know, I'm going to go with Derek Watt. 69 overall, but hey, we just need a fullback. Just need somebody to block for Derrick Henry for this season. So we're going to bring him in for our starting fullback. And let me take a look at like other free agents because, you know, our offensive line could use some help. I could bring back Luan, who used to be a Titan, but I don't know. And, you know, I could bring in a lineman at every position to do massive upgrades, but I don't really think I want to go that route, at least for the first year. Just wanted to get a fullback to plug in there to get something going in that direction. But one thing I'm thinking about doing is, and maybe I'll do it in the offseason, potentially trading away Malik Davis, because of just the fact that he's our third stringer. He's the guy we drafted, but I don't really see much of a future with him as far as our franchise quarterback. Well, let's get through the preseason. We'll get through all this. We'll get through cut days, and we'll get going with the regular season. I know I talked about I wouldn't be doing a rebuild for a while, but I say, you know what? A Madden guy's got to do what a Madden guy's got to do, if you know what I mean. So I'm doing a Tennessee Titans rebuild. I'm starting that up, and hopefully I'll be able to continue this, and I'll be religious about this, you know, keeping this going and rebuilding this team, because, you know, this is a team that's pretty intriguing, and, you know, it's got one of the best running backs in the league, in the game, so, you know, that's what I feel. And we actually got some trade offers. Travis Gibson. Let's review some trade offers here. So teams want to trade for our right outside linebacker. Let me see here. Before I turn that down, I want to see what our linebacking core kind of situation is, you know, because if Gibson's one of our starters, I don't want to trade him, but is he a backup guy? Is he rated lower than our starter? That's what I want to see. Okay, so he is rated lower. Landry. We have a lot of middle linebackers. We have 3 left outside guys. Well, I guess if we can get a right outside linebacker as a result of the trade and maybe get some picks, maybe I should look into that. I think Gibson may be on the last year of his deal anyway, so it may be good to get him off the docket. But let me see what other teams are offering. Well, nobody's really offering a pick. Raiders are willing to give us White and a tight end. But I don't know. You know, Maddox looks pretty intriguing from the Eagles, and we get another linebacker. None of these guys are basically the same position as he is, so I don't really know. I don't think I'm going to accept any of these offers. They don't look really convincing to me, and yeah, it doesn't look very convincing. So let's decline offers. We won our first preseason game against the Bears, 17-10. Let's get through preseason game number 2 against the Vikings and see where we're at. And going with Tannehill as a 71 overall is going to be kind of tough, I imagine, this first year, based on how quickly he's aged and how lowly rated he has gotten by this point of the game. So quarterback is definitely a need this offseason. We can run it with Derek. We'll be able to run the football at will, but our passing game, that's not going to have much. There's not going to be much to it in year 1 for sure. So we lost by 3 points to the Vikings. Let's see if we can get a win against the Patriots. And we lose our third preseason game, and we got cut days. We got to cut a lot of players. But we got staffed skill points to spend, so let's see where we want to spend them. Let's actually go to Vrabel's coaching tree. I want to see where we can spend some points, because he may have some stuff that we could possibly upgrade. Let's go ahead and do this, the hands-on thing. Let's do that, upgrade there. Okay, so Vrabel's got some upgrades now. That'll help. Chris Roberts and Aaron Ward are our offensive and defensive coordinators. So that's what we've got there. Okay, so let's cut 17 players. That's a lot of guys to cut for this first year. But hey, first year we have the regular, updated roster, so we're gonna have a lot of these guys. We could put Willis on practice squad, but somebody pick him up, and he is our third stringer. But still, let me see about running backs. We got a ton of these. Jonathan Ward, I think, is somebody we can definitely deal without. And but Chestnut, I think I just want to keep, not really put him on practice squad just yet. Watt we just signed. Where I'm doing anything with him. Mason Kinsley hasn't really developed in anything. We're gonna cut him. A lot of receivers. I'm going to risk putting Jackson on practice squad. If somebody picks him up, I'll just have to deal with that. Well, Cox is our long snapper. Raider is our 4th-string tight end, so we're going to get rid of him. All right. Duncan, I guess. Let's put Duncan on practice squad. We got extra right tackles. John Ojwu, I'm going to put you on practice squad. Keep Hubbard and Petit Frere available. Autry. Keandre Coburn, I'm going to put you on practice. Got probably some extra linebackers. I'm going to risk putting Caleb Murphy on practice. Something tells me a lot of these guys are going to get picked up, but it's what it is. Luke Gifford, former Cowboy. Can we cut him? He'll incur a penalty. JoJo Doman, I'm going to put you on practice. And Garrett, I guess. And Garrett Willow, I'm going to do the same thing. Wallow, I'm going to do the same thing with you. Still have a whole lot of guys. And Joseph Jones, I'm just going to cut you. 2, 3, 4. Move Otis Reese to practice. Right outside linebacker. All right, well, I'm going to put Kendall on practice squad. You got 6 corners. I really would like to have 6 corners active if possible, but we have to put one of these guys on practice. Mike Brown, I'm going to put you on practice squad. Kicker. We have an extra punter, I think, too, right? Yeah, Ty Zetniar. He'll incur a penalty. So I'm going to put you on practice squad because we have Stonehouse as our starting punter. All right, let me get back to maybe running backs. We have 3 active running backs right now. I'm going to risk putting Chestnut on practice. He's going to get snatched up by somebody. And as far as receivers, Dole, we're going to incur a penalty if we get rid of you. Maybe Nick Westbrook, no. All right, receivers, we can't really do anything there. We're kind of stuck. Westlaco, no. Wesco, no. Let's go back to maybe. Let's go back to middle linebackers here because I feel like there were some extra guys here. Yeah, middle linebacker. We got a lot of extra middle linebackers. We can't cut Campbell because that'll be a penalty. All right, so I think maybe. All right, let's just cut Trey Avery. All right. Now we're down to 53. There was a lot of cuts that we had to do. We had cut 17 guys from the team. All right, so let's get to the regular season week. Something tells me we're going to have a lot of notifications about guys getting picked up from our practice squad. But we'll see. All right, so it looks like before we do that, let me go ahead and get the trade, the draft class in there. I saw trade offers at the bottom. Wonder if teams are still putting in offers for maybe that backup linebacker. All right, so there's the draft class for 2024, super accurate and everything. No cahoots there. So now let's take a look here because there's still trade offers for Gibson. Let me see what other offers are on the table. Teams may be doing this for most of the season. Okay, so some of these offers have gone up a little bit. Penny, Malone, left outside linebacker. You know, you could probably sign a linebacker for depth reasons. Getting Penny in here, in case Derrick Henry, for some reason, we just can't re-sign him, let's get Penny here as insurance, because it looks like that he's just buried on the Eagles depth chart right now in terms of running backs. 76 overall. He'll automatically be basically elevated to the backup role of being behind Henry. So we'll do that. So hopefully bringing in Penny will help out with the running game a little bit to give us a little bit more of an added dimension. So let's take a look at our roster now and see kind of what we're looking like with Penny now being our other running back on the team. So Penny actually is going to be still third string behind Spears, but I do think that he'll help with depth to a degree. Just worried about the depth that we don't have it right outside linebacker anymore because of the trade. So I'm actually going to go out and see if I can sign a backup right outside linebacker. Mainly because with trading away Gibson, I think we could use help over there. So let's see who's available. Melvin Ingram, Jason Pierre-Paul, Frank Clark Sr. Ooh, Frank Clark Sr. actually could be pretty intriguing. You know what? Let's get Frank Clark in here. 1-year deal, 70 overall, outside linebacker now. I think his last stop was with Kansas City, so he's going to join our linebacking core now. Don't think this puts him don't think this puts him in a starting role, but could help to have a presence like that to help out a little bit. So because of that, of course, we got to cut somebody. That'll do a penalty, so I don't want to do that. Let's go. That'll do a penalty. I don't want to do that. Let's go to defensive line. See if there's somebody else we can get rid of. What about right ends? No, we don't have a whole lot of depth at any of these positions, really, so we got to kind of keep that open. But middle linebackers, we've got a lot here. That'll cure a penalty, so yeah, we're going to have to cut Chance Campbell. All right. So let me actually check and see about the injury report, because it looks like that some guys are hurt. Well, Pecco's out for one with a quad strain, and Spears, our backup running back, is out for one with a back strain. So I guess bringing in Penny for the first game of the season, you know, at least it'll help out for regular season week 1. But, you know, Penny may be on the last year of his deal in Philly, so they're probably looking to shop him anyway. So here's the approach that I'm thinking about doing with the Titans this year. Let me just check the depth chart here to make sure everything is situated correctly. So we're going to start off the season with Ryan Tannehill as our starting quarterback. But if we get to the middle of the season and, you know, we're clearly not a playoff team and we got no chance, I'm going to put Will in for the rest of the season if by week 7 we're just not doing well and Ryan Tannehill and we're just losing a whole lot of games. I'm going to put Will in, you know, so to let him, you know, kind of develop as a rookie a little bit, because, hey, I figure we drafted this guy in the 2nd round. We need to give him some time during this season to see what he can do. So that's what we're going to do in the back half of the season if we start losing right off the bat. That's the approach that I'm going to do, because I do want to see if Will's rating is going to go up to a certain degree, so I can see if maybe in year 2 I just want to take the approach for the first time of not really going gung-ho after a rookie quarterback like a Caleb Williams or a Drake May, and just try to develop a guy that is already on the team as a rookie to start out the franchise, and just kind of, you know, continue to develop him and get tools around him and see if maybe he is the solution for the Tennessee for this football team. I think that's the approach that I want to take with this rebuild, but I'll see how things kind of go. Okay, so playtime's over. We're starting up the regular season. Let's simulate to the middle of the season and see where we are at. I mean, my expectations aren't really super high because I feel like out of all the teams in the AFC South, we got the most question marks. And, you know, this could be potentially a pretty tough situation for Levis to potentially enter during the back half of the season, because our O-line needs work. we have nobody, I think, in the 80s on this offensive line. And we don't have a lot of guys in the 80s on defense. So there's a lot of upgrades that this team needs to get at multiple positions on both sides of the football. And we need to decide who our quarterback's going to be. Is it going to be Will? Are we going to rock out with him? Or is his play going to be even worse than Tannehill's to the point where we got to still look at potentially another quarterback in the draft? But like I said earlier, I'm seriously thinking about for this particular rebuild, in this particular situation, I didn't do it with the Raiders with Aiden O'Connell, but I may do it with Will Levis. I may just kind of say, all right, Tannehill's at the end of his career. We drafted Will in the second round of this year. I'm going to ride things with him for next season, and we're going to see if we can get enough talent around him to help build his confidence and just help him continue to develop and be the quarterback for this team. That's what I'm thinking about doing now, but things could change at the end of the season based on how everything goes. But we'll see. Well, we're actually not off to a super bad start. We're 3-3, so things are going kind of okay right now. So for now, I'm going to leave Ryan Tannehill in there as the starter. I want to take a look at his numbers through the first kind of half of the season and see where he's at. Well, he's only thrown for just over 1,000 yards. He's got 12 touchdowns. So our passing game really isn't too elite. He's only thrown 3 picks. Will hasn't played at all. And Henry only has 2 rushing touchdowns. Spears has 2. Penny has 1. So our running game is doing okay enough to keep us, I guess, afloat in these games. Because Derrick Henry's already got 108 carries on the season for 527 yards, 2 touchdowns. He's averaging 87 yards a game, 4.9 yards per carry. That's not great. It's good. I mean, 4 yards. 4 yards cloud of dust, I guess. But it looks like the running game is kind of the big thing that's keeping us afloat in terms of us being able to be 500 at this point of the season. But then again, this season is far from over, and none of the ratings across the board for us have really changed. Let me take a look at our injuries and see if we got anybody hurt right now, because that could make some... Okay, so we got no players injured, so this is good at this point. We do have a tough game coming up against the Falcons. They're 4-3. Let's get to the negotiating screen and see whose contracts are up. Well, of course, there he is. Derrick Henry's contract is, of course, up. His interest meter is low. Right now, he's not interested in re-signing, but Derrick, I know that in real life, you're done in Tennessee, but you're the best player on this offense. You're one of the best running backs. You're 95 overall. I don't see you regressing much for the next few seasons. We have Spears and Penny behind you, but we're going to go a little heavy with this. We're going to go with the player-friendly deal. Let's see if he takes this. Good offer. Okay, so good. We got Derrick Henry. And that honestly did not eat up as much of the cap as I thought. We still have $110 million to play with. But it looks like a lot of the rest of these guys, I'm not even really super interested in bringing back anyway. And also, it looks like a lot of them don't even really fit our scheme. I mean, Derrick doesn't really either, but, in 95 overall, how could you not want to get him back? We're going to let our Nick Folk walk. We're going to get a different kicker. We'll get a better fullback in free agency than Watt. Autry is interested in coming back, but 80 overall, I think we can do a little bit better. Murphy Bunting is tempting, but he's not our starting corner. We probably can get a better corner in free agency. Al Shahir, maybe. 78 overall is decent. Edmonds, I think, might be worth trying to keep, but we probably have to offer him a pretty decent deal. And I don't know if I really don't want to overpay for a guy that's not wholeheartedly interested in, staying here, if you will. Tannehill's contract is up at the end of the season anyway, so I'm not looking to bring him back next year and just say Will is our guy and we're going to rock with him and we're going to have this rebuild be a little bit more tedious. Now, Hubbard, I think I'm going to bring back just for depth reasons, and also he's interested in re-signing right now. And I may do the same with Frank Clark. We signed him for depth reasons. He's getting up there in age, but he has some veteran leadership. So it may be worth bringing him back, and he's a scheme fit guy. I think I may just look to bring back everybody that's interested, except for, McLean. A 58 overall left in, I don't think it's worth investing in at all, even for, like, a few more years. But you know what? Let me actually see if Autry can come back on a one-year deal. Good offer. Okay, so he just wanted a one-year deal anyway. So we actually got Autry back on a deal that wasn't really too expensive. But I think everybody else I may look to just let walk away. Because we got a lot of positions that we got to revamp, and I leave us with $110 million on the cap for right now. That's going to be a lot of spending money that we're going to be able to go into with free agency in this offseason. All right, let's take a look at our media question here. Let's see what Coachman has to say. Derrick Henry, one way or another. All right, we already signed him to a big 4-year deal, so Derrick Henry will be here for the rest of this rebuild, no questions asked. And, I know that's not like real life, but I feel like that if he's the best player on our offense and he's our best overall player, I think the deal is you want to try to build around him. We'll get the pieces around Henry to help complement our running game, but I think keeping Henry around is going to be a good idea. All right, 4-3 Falcons this week. Let's see if we can get over 500. If we lose multiple games in a row, it might be time to pull the trigger and put in the rookie. It might be time to put in Will and see what he can do. Well, we lost by 10. Let's check out weekly awards. It looks like somebody won an award for us this week. So Al Shahir actually got an AFC Defensive Player of the Week with 9 tackles and 2 sacks. So good for him. Our starting middle linebacker showing out. Of course, he's on the last year of his contract. Breakout linebacker. It's probably Shahir. Best performances. All right. So he's getting some confidence. So that's cool. Breakout scenarios. I left him on for this rebuild just because I haven't done them for the last couple of rebuilds, and I feel like they add a little bit something extra. Not too much extra, but a little something, something. All right, let's upgrade some of our guys. All right, we got a Steeler team this week that is 2-5, so they're not doing so hot. Maybe we can get a win this week. Lose a couple in a row. Maybe time to put Will in and see what he can do. All right, well, wow, we shut out the Steelers 20-0. How about that? 4-4. To answer our media question. It's been an up and down year. Focus on the next game first and foremost. This is a deal where we're taking it one game at a time. We got a long way to go before we think about true contention, if you ask me, even though we are 4-4. Because we are still at the bottom of the AFC South, technically, even though the Jaguars and Texans are also 4-4. So, we're almost there. Wasn't the performance. So Shahir, I guess, didn't have a good a performance as he hoped. All right, it is what it is, man. We'll move on and go week by week. Wow, the Bucs are 1-7. Wow, they are not in good shape right now. Well, this should definitely be a game that we win. If we lose this one to a team that looks like it's going to be one of the worst in the league, it may be time to consider changing quarterbacks. Well, we beat them by 6, so Tannehill was able to. So Tannehill, in my opinion, right now is kind of holding on to his job by a thread a little bit. We're 5-4 right now. I didn't think we'd be over 500 at any point this season, to be completely honest. Focus player. Let's delegate this in the staff. Let's get to the negotiating screen. I want to see if there's any backup guys that I was considering bringing back that are guys we can negotiate with. Okay, so Aziz Al is actually interested in coming back. So you know what? This may be a bit of a risk, but I'm going to invest in him. Happy to sign. Okay, so we got him back on a 3-year deal, and we got $97 million left. I think it actually might have. I think it was worth bringing him back, and also he was interested, so we didn't have to break the bank on him, But all the rest of these guys, we'd have to really kind of. Well, Tannehill's interest meter actually is going up, probably because he's our starter and we're winning. But we're investing with the quarterback with the long-term upside, and that's why we drafted Will. So. One way or another, Ryan Tannehill will not be a part of this football team, next year. But Hubbard, I want to continue to be a part of this team. I want him to stay for one more year for backup roles. Okay, so he'll be back for 1 year. That only ate up $3 million, so not a whole lot of cap room eaten up there. Clark, No, he's a backup. We brought him in to be a backup, so I don't know if I want to invest that much in him. Bohanna, I may just look for depth reasons so we don't lose every single player. But I think the reality is that we gotta get younger. We gotta get younger at these positions. But I think Rucic is somebody that I'm gonna definitely offer a new deal to. But I think everybody else can go because we're at we're at 94 million right now as far as cap space that we can play with, and I want to leave some of that to be able to improve this team. Okay, so 5-4 now. We're going against another 5-4 team, the Jaguars. This could be potentially a big game for us. If we win this game, we could moonshot past them for second place in the division, which would put us in contention to maybe talk about a wild card playoff berth, but we'll see. Well, that was not good. We lost a very critical game that we needed to win. And, that's pretty tough. And, we lost by 7. But, guys, I think it's time to pull the trigger. Will Levis, get in there. You're our starting quarterback for the rest of the season. We're making a change at quarterback. Will Levis will be our starter for this upcoming game against the Carolina Panthers. This is a team that isn't very good, so this will hopefully be a decent game for Will Levis to make his rookie debut against. We're starting to go up offensively overall at 79, and overall we're 78 as a team. So we're getting a little bit better, but hey, Will Levis' first start against a 3-7 Carolina Panthers team, his first NFL start. Can he get a win? Is he going to shock some life into this offense? And we lose by 3, so not the debut that Will was hoping for. But you know what? It is time to give the rookie a chance to start for the back half of the season because we got to see what he can do because we're not investing in Ryan Tannehill for the future, and Will is going to be our guy. Let's see what the media question says. Fighting for playoff position. Do you feel like an opportunity is slipping away? But if we do miss the playoffs, it comes back to coaching. Okay, I'm just saying that, but we're also a team in transition. I mean, Coachman, we just changed our quarterbacks. We just put in our rookie quarterback. We only lost actually by 1 point. I said 3 earlier, but we only lost by 1 point to a Panthers team that, yes, wasn't very good. But, hey, Will is going to get better week by week, so we're going to see what happens. Well, the Colts are actually having a surprisingly good year. They're 9-2, and we're at the bottom of the division once again. But maybe we can get an upset win, and maybe Will will get his first win this week. We'll see. And we lose by 8. So Will is 0-2 as a starter since we put him in place of Tannehill. Unfortunately, we're actually going in the opposite direction in terms of how we're doing for this. Let me check the injury report here because it looks like Malik Willis got upgraded. So I guess he got some playing time. But we had no injuries. I guess they put him in instead of Tannehill. Vrabel put him in, so all right. Well, we're 5-7, pretty much out of the playoff picture. 7-5 Dolphins this week. Let's get to negotiating and see if that other backup that I'm interested in investing in was available. I feel like some of the interest meters are going down, but I don't know. Well, Gibbons, I don't think we really need to invest in because we got Shahir, so I'm not really going to invest in him, even though his meter's gone up in terms of interest. And Tannehill's, of course, gone down because he got benched. So, see you, Ryan. So Rupert we can't even do until week 16. Okay. Well, we'll negotiate with him before we play our final regular season game against Houston, and we'll be on the road for that game. All right. Dolphins this week. It's going to be a pretty tough one. Let's see if we can get an upset win here. And Will has lost his first 3 starts in the NFL. Pretty tough rookie year for him, but Hopefully these are growing pains that he goes through, and hopefully this will help out in his development to get the playing time in order to improve himself. Let's actually take a look and see. Let me double check the depth chart to make sure he is still starting and the computer didn't like auto change something for me. Okay, so it didn't. So he's actually dipped to a 70. So I want to see his stats for the first 3 games of his NFL career. So I'm going to go check that out here and see what Will's stats are looking like. So, of course, Tannehill is still leading our passing. So Will is thrown for 477 yards. He's thrown 3 touchdowns and 3 interceptions, 41 out of 72. You know, his quarterback rating probably isn't. His rating is a 73.6. It looks like way below Tannehill's, but you know, we made this decision because we're just looking to spark for our offense. And Will is a rookie we draft in the 2nd round, so I just want to see what he can do because he's a first-round talent who slipped. So we're just looking to see if we got anything there. Weekly awards. I guess we got some weekly award winners. Hooker, our strong safety, got AFC Defensive Player of the Week with 4 tackles, 2 interceptions, and a touchdown. One had to be for pick 6, and of course that was another loss to the Dolphins. We're not losing these games by big margins, so something tells me that Will is getting his feet under him, but he's got to rack up at least a couple of wins to end the season because, you know, this is kind of getting pretty tough. And I was actually wrong, and I should have remembered this because I watched the game on TV where the Titans played the Jaguars at home, and they knocked the Jaguars out of the playoffs. We could potentially do that based on the way that the standings look, just like in real life, but, you know, we'll see. So, meantime, we got the 7-6 Texans on deck. We're at the bottom of the division. We're just trying to figure out what direction we're going to be going with our rookie quarterback. So, I don't expect really too much against us to do against C.J. Stroud and company. And we lost again. So, we put Will in, and he's lost his first 4 games of his NFL career. So, Jeffrey Simmons, it looks like he's having a breakout game. So, he had a breakout game, so he's feeling it a little bit. But we'll see about that. Man, 4 losses in a row since we changed quarterbacks. But you know what? That's what we're going with. You know, it's Will's turn to really make a move. And, you know, Tannehill, we've benched you, and looks like we got another weekly award winner. So we're getting weekly award winners even though we're losing a lot of games. So Simmons did get AFC Defensive Player of the Week, 6 tackles, 2 sacks, 1 forced fumble, and 1 fumble recovery. So, good game for him. He'll be here for, you know, more years. So we got the Seahawks this week. They're 5-9, just like us. So, let's see if we can get a win here against Seattle. And Will has lost 5 in a row as a starter. Or 5-10. Embarrassing performance. Yeah, I know, Simmons. I know. Look, we're in rebuilding. That's what's happening. So it is what it is. Well, it's looking like that the game that I play against the Jaguars myself, maybe the first game. Hopefully, it'll be the first game that Will Levis wins for his NFL career, and I can get a victory against the Jags. So, yeah, so they're 8-7. Texans are 8-7. We got 2 games against 2 teams that are battling for second place in our division. So, we could potentially play a little bit of spoiler here, but I don't know. And Will Levis gets the first win of his NFL career. We pull off an upset over the Houston Texans by 11. Really probably staking a heart into their playoff chances. So now we got an opportunity to potentially do that to the Jaguars. So let's take a look at the playoff picture and see what things are looking like heading into the final week of the regular season. So right now the Jaguars are in the playoff picture, but the Colts are leading the division. They're the number 2 seed. So if we beat them, that could potentially launch the Texans back into the playoff picture. We got the Colts and the Browns, Dolphins, Jaguars, Ravens, Bills, Chiefs have the #1 seed, Eagles have the #1 seed. In the NFC, we got the Packers and the Lions, Saints, Vikings, 49ers, Falcons. Surprisingly, no sign of the Cowboys, so they must have had an injury or something. I don't know what happened. But let me take a double check at our depth chart, make sure everything is situated correctly. Make sure that Will is still in there as the starter. All right. Last game of the regular season. Last game of the regular season is at home, playing the Jaguars, kind of like the Titans were able to do in real life in what basically turned out to be Derrick Henry's last game. Hopefully we can get a win. But first things first, I actually just remembered. Let me go ahead and try to retain that backup that I was thinking about offering a contract to. Ruprich. I want to keep him around for 1 year for depth reasons. All right, so he is okay with a 1-year deal. We're doing that just so we can keep him for tackle depth, because we're going to let a lot of depth go this offseason, so I want to have at least some stability there. All right, final game of the regular season after Will got his first win of his NFL career against the Texans. Can he make it 2 in a row against the division rival Jaguars, excuse me? Let's make sure that we got the uniforms on. I'm going to change the pants to the blue ones. Yeah, we're going all navy for the final regular season game at home against the Jaguars. Thought about putting on the old Oiler uniforms, but just figured, I'll save those for later. All right. So hopefully we can end year 1 with a victory. We're 6-10 right now. We could finish the year at 7-10 if we win this game. So, chance for me to play with Will Levis and try to see what he can do. We still have D-Hop out there, and we got Burks. So we got some talent, but I got to be thinking for this game, I got to run Henry run. I got to let Derrick Henry get the football. I got to feed him. So here we go. Nissan Stadium. I don't know if it's still called Nissan. Yep, Nissan. Okay, the announcer just confirmed it. We got the division rival Jaguars. They're in the playoff picture. But if we beat them, we can knock them out. And Houston, if they win, can potentially put themselves in. So we are looking to play spoiler as we walk onto this field in Nashville. All right, home cooking time. Let's get it done, guys. All right, first drive. And you know what we do? You know what a rookie quarterback does when he's got one of the best running backs in the game? We let him get the football. Here we go, King Henry. I will say, Derrick Henry is one of the best-looking, Madden players in the game, because they got his arm sleeves right, they got his dreadlocks right. I know he's definitely one of the players where they face scan him and everything, but he looks good in these games. All right, D-Hop. D-Hop on the outside, on the out route, catches it for 6 yards. There we go. Only way to get Will's confidence up is with a basic pass. That's what we got to go with.
Working from the gun, here's Levis.
Oh, he got hit at the last minute. Couldn't find Hop.
The Pro Bowler DeAndre Hopkins, the intended receiver, and it's 3rd and 4. In search of.
All right, well, our tight end over the middle, O'Connell.
You look at this Jaguar defense.
Come on, O'Connell.
They come into this
tight end is open, first down. Oh, broke away. Oh, but he got smacked hard after he got the first down. Nice job. Still, way to hold on to the football and get the first.
They've seen it in doses, but very, very small doses.
Yeah, you've got to be consistent.
All right, Burks. Burks makes the catch. First down inside the 20. Or inside the 30, I should say. All right, come on, Henry. Let's go to stretch play. Those blocks on the outside. Ooh, hopped over him. Oh. All right. Well, that was a pretty stylish 2-yard pickup, but I for sure thought he was tackled in the backfield, but he broke away from it.
And so much about football, partner, comes down to mindset.
All right, Moore, Chris Moore. Tipped away by the defense. Now it's 3rd down. All right.
So they come in feeling good. They've got
red zone scissors here.
I think they're going to be tough to beat in this one.
All right. Got to find a way to pick this up.
Levis on 3rd down.
Oh man, that pressure came. Who was supposed to be blocking him? I guess nobody. Jeez, he came in screaming. Man. Yeah. Josh Allen came in there unblocked. I'm not sure what happened with the protection on that play. But Nick Folk kicks the field goal, and we do go up by 3. So obviously I wanted to have 7 to start the game, but 3 is okay. I mean, then again, we're the team that's not supposed to win this game. We're the team that's struggling. But our defense made a stop. We got a 1st and 10 inside the red zone here. Let's capitalize on this one. Come on, Hop. DeAndre Hopkins makes the catch, breaks the tackle, into the end zone, touchdown Titans. Will Levis with his first touchdown throw of the game. Beautiful throw. Just what we needed to get the confidence going. Jaguars get on the board, and we're back on offense. 3rd and 4, maybe risky to go with the draw play here. Let's see if Henry can pick it up. All right, Henry, come on. Easy. Pick it up. There we go. First down here. Nice job. Right, 3rd and 4. Maybe risky to run it again. You know what? Actually, I think it will be. Let's go with play action. Let's go with something different.
Levis now off of play action.
Oh, that could have been a kick. Threw it right in between both the guys. 4th and 4. They're letting us kick the field goal. Okay.
Here's Nick Folk now.
All right,
on
Folk.
for the field goal. He was true on his first. This a tough one from 49 yards away.
49 yards. Kick is good, and we go up by 6
here. It's 13-7.
I thought about running it on 3rd and 4, but Henry wasn't on the field. It was Spears, so that's why I audibled out of it. All right, we go on defense.
See what this defense can do here.
Oh, 2-minute warning. All right, we're still at 6.
And we've
stop
hit
on
the 2-minute
defense
mark in this first half of
to end
action.
this half. I want him in the end zone. Step up here.
Now Lawrence on first down. And he will find Ridley on the left side.
Man, I didn't time that right at all. I was trying to make that tackle with a big hit, but I couldn't get to the guy. Come on, in the red zone here.
Lawrence. He'll find ETN out
catch,
of the
ducked
backfield.
out of bounds immediately.
And he'll get this down inside the 5 to the 4 before he's out of bounds. 2nd and goal from inside the 5. Out of the gun, it's Lawrence.
Oh, man, right in between them for the touchdown.
Britton Strange, his 6th.
And the Jaguars take the lead, but we got a chance to drive down the field and get at least a field goal before the half.
That will end at least 3 points to get them the lead here going into the lockers. 1st and 10, here's...
And Hopkins makes the catch, breaks away. Hopkins having himself a good game. Let's go. Give it up. Go no huddle here. Go no huddle.
Down now, but that clock rolling. Levis sets up to throw here.
Take the top off. Oh, that was good defense. That was good defense by Jacksonville. I'll give him that.
That's some good closing speed there defensively because that looked open for a minute. That's great work with the ball in the air. Never gave up. Converged on his man and broke the play up.
Oh, that was a bad idea. It's intercepted. On the block.
Trey Flowers picks
so we get the interception.
Are going to have it here.
First mistake Will's made all day.
2nd quarter, this defense
well, hopefully
looking
the defense
for a
can
big
hold
3rd
them
down
out.
stop here. They're already down to the scoreboard, just trying to get the ball back to their offense. Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw.
Oh, but we get a pick right back. Nice job. Way to go. Way to go, D. All right. So now that we've redeemed ourselves there, well, we're not going to get a chance to. And the Titans have scored to now go up by 8. But we are in the red zone once again. We're going to change this play, though.
1st and 10, just inside the 20. Levis now on 1st and 10. Buying time to his left.
Just throw it away, Will. All right, good. I want to make sure I got out of the tackle box.
Smart decision here that's close to the end zone, and it brings up 2nd down.
Still want to keep running.
3rd quarter action here in this regular season finale. This will be 2nd and 10. Back to the ground now. It's Henry.
Henry didn't get much
block. And he'll take this inside the 20 and down to the 18. They do get a couple, but they'll be left staring at a 3rd and 8 coming up. They'll be in search of 8 yards here as they hope to convert the 1st down. Levis looking to throw.
Break away from that. There we go. Tight end. Down to the 2-yarder. Nice job. Good throw by Will, too. Good throw. All right. Let's pound it in there. All right, Henry. This is all you. Henry up the gut. Fights off a defender. Gets in for the score. Let's go. Nice job. All right. Now we're back in this thing. Just what we needed. Look at it. Get off me, Josh Allen. Nice run by King Henry. But we missed the 2-point conversion. But we're only still down by 2. We're in the 4th quarter now. So this is a pretty big possession here.
This defense can ill afford to go 2 scores down here in the second half. Got his man.
Okay, good tackle, but he still got 6 yards.
And down inside the 10 here before he's out of bounds right around the 7. If nothing else, they've already taken a couple minutes off the clock here already as they come up 2nd down. Here's Lawrence.
Through there, guys. Come on, get there. We get through and get the sack. Way to go. Nice job. Perfect. All right, that's really big. Now it's 3rd and long.
What great push up front. Now Lawrence on 3rd and long.
Ooh, knocked it away. Perfect. All right, so we hold him to at least a field goal attempt. Nice job.
So decision time now, because a field goal keeps it a 1-score game. What are you thinking?
Right. Well, big time holding them there to field goal. So now we still got a shot. If we can get a touchdown on one of these possessions, we got a shot. All right.
Take the field goal, take the point. I don't think you want to risk coming away with nothing.
Jaguars know they got to win this to get into the playoffs potentially. So 3rd down and 3. We're not going to be too risky about this. We're going to run the football.
As they search for a late score. Henry will get
there
it.
we go. Breaks the tackle, 1st down. 91 yards. He's almost at 100 on the day.
91 yards rushing for him so far as his terrific season continues here. A solid run by Derrick Henry, and here's another 1st and 10.
Let's go to inside zone again.
From the gun, he'll hand this
there we go, Henry. Make him miss. Another 1st down. He's over 100. Nice.
Another carry for their leader and a good one. It's crunch time. They'll need him to continue to be productive.
All right, 2-minute warning. I think this is going to be the last time that we're going to have the football. So I want to be smart about this.
We get you reset. Plenty of time. All 3 timeouts still remain. Here's 1st and 10 now.
I'm going to run it.
They'll run it again with Henry.
And Henry's got another 1st down. Let's go a little no huddle. So I don't want to score too quick.
This is 1st and 10. Levis, he'll look to throw it.
Tight end
Short
open.
throw taken in by Okonkwo.
All right. Almost got the 1st.
Now
a little bit short.
In a few inches. Here's Levis.
Henry makes the catch despite the fact that Will got hit pretty hard.
And he'll go down here right around the
1st down. Going no huddle.
Here's 1st down. A 20th carry down for Derrick Henry.
Not a good idea. All right, timeout. We got to call timeout.
He's had his way in this one, but this time they get him behind the line.
We need this.
They'll come up now. This is 2nd and long.
Sorry, guys.
Levis.
Right, more, come on.
To the right side.
Go more.
More complete.
All right, hurry up.
An important one here, no doubt. 3rd and 4. Levis to throw.
Moore's open again. Oh my goodness, you gotta catch the ball. Oh my God.
And that brings up 4th.
No, you didn't.
Left to keep this one going.
Oh.
For you and me.
Oh.
With their offensive coordinator now has to think back, cycle through every play of this
all right.
contest.
Well, it's not Henry, but Spears on the angle route.
Right here, he needs the best play of the game.
Oh my.
Keep this one alive.
That was so dumb. That was dumb. Wow. Oh, man.
We drop you into this one here.
No, they're not punting this ball.
Team trailing
Lost.
and hoping for a nice return out of this one. Cook now on to punt as he gets this one away. Taken from just outside the 30.
Lock. 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 There's nobody blocking.
I don't know what was going on there, but the end result, this is going to be a safety.
Illegal block in the back. Well, nobody was blocking, so, I mean, it is what it is.
And what a momentum play that is, right? You never want to see a safety wiped out. You get the points, and you're going to get the ball back.
We just couldn't get it done. Will didn't have the best game. I should have let that angle route develop a little bit more instead of throwing it early. If I let Spears go a little bit further instead of throwing it pretty much when I snapped it, maybe he catches it for the first, but it is what it is, guys. Instead, we end by losing by 7 points. Oh, man, not to mention Chris Moore dropping that football. Jeez, man, you had a first down right in your hands. You had it right in your hands, man. Well, Will, only won one game during the back half of us this season. He did some decent things in that final regular season game, but an L is an L. So that's the way that our season ends. That's the way that we're going to wrap it up for year one. So it is what it is. So we'll go ahead and going to get through the rest of the season. Derrick Henry, though, had a good game, over 100 yards rushing. So let's advance, through some of the weeks here and see what transpires in the playoffs. All right, let's take a look at the Pro Bowl roster and see if anybody made it. Did Derrick Henry make it? Derrick Henry did not make it. Edmonds, I think. Yeah, Edmonds made it as our as the other strong safety. Looks like Edmonds was the only guy that made it, our strong safety. I believe he's on our team. Anyway. All right, let's take a look at the playoff bracket and let's see what happened. So the Jaguars did make the playoffs, of course, because they beat us. And they actually beat the Colts in an AFC South matchup in the wild card round. And then the Bills beat the Bengals. Ravens beat the Dolphins, so it was the Chiefs and the Jaguars. The Chiefs won that one, and the Ravens went on the road to Buffalo and shut out the Bills 35-0. So it was Chiefs versus Ravens in the AFC Championship. Chiefs won that one, so it's the Chiefs-Eagles rematch because on the NFC side, the Packers beat the Vikings, the Lions beat the Saints, Niners beat the Falcons, and then the Niners beat the Packers, and then, of course, the Eagles beat the Lions, and the Eagles beat the 49ers once again. So basically a rematch of last year's NFC Championship game, and the Eagles won again, I assume with Brock Purdy playing, though. And it's a rematch of the Chiefs-Eagles Super Bowl. So it's a rematch of last year's Super Bowl. All right. Well, let's see who takes home the Super Bowl in year one of the rebuild, and then we'll get to work. All right. For that, let's check out the yearly awards. So Dak won MVP, despite the fact the Cowboys didn't make the playoffs, and Sirianni won Coach of the Year. That's something I didn't expect to happen. Let's see. AFC Offensive Player of the Year, Rashee Rice. No Titans, Defensive Player of the Year. No Titans there either. Offensive Rookie of the Year. I mean, Will didn't even qualify for that, really. Defensive Rookie of the Year. Best QB. Nobody. Best running back. Derrick Henry finished 4th. All right. Best receiver. No Hopkins. Best offensive lineman. Nobody. Best defensive lineman. Jeffrey Simmons, 8th finish there. Best linebacker. Nobody there. Best DB. Oh, Amari Hooker. Okay, so I think Hooker made the Pro Bowl, actually. So we did have 2 Pro Bowlers. So, all right, so we took away a little bit of hardware. Amani Hooker won Best DB in the AFC for us. So shout out to him. Terrell Edmonds. Okay, he was in the Pro Bowl. He was in our team. So we made 8th place. Best kicker. Nobody there. Okay. Well, we had Hooker win Best DB, so not bad. All right. Let's see who wins the Super Bowl between the Chiefs and the Eagles. A rematch in Super Bowl 58 of Super Bowl 57. All right, season recap. Let's see what happened. And the Eagles get their revenge on the Chiefs, and they win their 2nd Super Bowl. MVP was Darius Slay. The MVP, of course, was Dagnick Sirianni, Coach of the Year, Rashee Rice. Aaron Donald won Defensive Player of the Year. Offensive Rookie of the Year went to Rashee Rice of the Chiefs. So Rice took away 2 hardware trophies. And Will Anderson won Defensive Rookie of the Year. All right. Upgrade players, obviously Hooker and Edmonds, I assume. So it looks like a bunch of the guys that we did put on practice squad, from Chestnut and everybody, actually didn't get picked up during the season. So that's actually a little bit of relief. We didn't have a whole lot of guys that got plucked, so we'll be able to keep some of those guys going into next season for depth reasons, which will help out when it comes to re-signing and things like that. All right. Well, now it's time to get to the off-season and see what we're looking like. We'll check out retirements. I don't really have anybody that I expect to retire from the Titans this year, but we'll see if we did have anybody. There may be a few, but we'll see. All right, let's check out the retirements and see who called it a career. So we actually did have some guys retire. So Morgan Cox, our long snapper, retired after 15 years, and so did Nick Folk. So we weren't going to bring back Nick Folk anyway, so we do have to get a new kicker, but you know, I was fully anticipating doing that, and we lost our long snapper, although I don't think that really means too much in the grand scheme of things. But we are definitely in the market for a new kicker this offseason for sure. It is what it is. All right. Well, now it's about getting down to business. Let's get into the first wave of free agency, and let's see what we can do. We got a lot of work to do to improve this team. Being 6-11 with a rookie quarterback that we're trying to kind of build around is it's a little bit of a new territory for us. But I think I do want to try, like I said, I think I do want to try to build around Will and see if he can develop a little bit. I mean, right now he's down to a 69. So I may just look to bring in another quarterback who's in the 70s to put some pressure on him, or if things don't go well in his sophomore season, do that. And Malik Willis, I think I'm still going to keep just for extra purposes, but I may look to trade in this offseason for maybe some picks. But that's the main guy of our offense, Derrick Henry. And we still got Spears, and we got Haskins. Penny is hitting the free agent market, so that trade, I think, didn't really help us out too much in the grand scheme of things. But we still have DeAndre Hopkins here. We still got Burks, but I think I definitely want to look and see if we can get another good receiver who fits our scheme, because what I'm noticing is that there's a bunch of guys on our team that aren't really scheme-fit guys. Like Henry even isn't that guy either, and neither really is Will. So I think we need to cater to guys that actually fit the scheme of our offense and our defense. Tight end, Dillard fits our scheme, but he's a 69 overall. We need upgrades really on the offensive line. We don't even have a center, so we got to go out and get one for sure. Of course, we brought back Hubbard, so we brought back Autry. We got Simmons back. And we need defensive tackles because we don't have any. We got Key, Harold Landry. We need corners big time. All of our corners basically hit the open market. So we've got quite a lot of work to do. So I'm actually going to release this Zinner guy because we don't need 2 punters. It's not going to free up a whole lot of cap, but I just feel like that's somebody that we don't really need. All right, well, let's get to work in free agency and see who's out here. I'm not gonna be opposed to looking at what quarterbacks are out here and seeing what maybe we could look at. So the top guy is Tyron Smith, and we do need offensive line help. But I want to sign guys that fit the scheme and also want to be here. You know, that's kind of what I'm looking at too. But I do want to bring in, another quarterback. Put the pressure on Will. Mason Rudolph is a 66. None of these guys are really interested anyway, and also none of them fit our scheme, so kind of makes things a little bit tough. Some of them do, but they're not interested. Well, Gardner Minshew's a 72. So Gardner Minshew's the top quarterback. He fits our scheme, but ugh. Do need a new fullback. And Keithan Carter is kind of promising. I don't think anybody's really offering him too much, so I think a one-year deal will probably be enough to convince him to come. Yeah, we're his only offer. We have $106 million to spend, so we're spending. Curtis Samuel, I think that's a good investment there for receiver. Get some help at receiver for this offense to help go on the opposite side of Hopkins. We're Samuel's only offer right now, so I think that'll help out. His meter wasn't in the green, but it was still, decently up there. Tight ends don't look super promising. A.J. Jackson. I think that's going to be a pretty good investment there for the offensive line. Because right now our current guy's at 69 overall. I think that's definitely an upgrade there. We can only do 2 more negotiations, so we need a new center. And Connor Williams at 83 overall, I think is a scheme fit guy, 2 years. Let's bring him in. Hopefully he'll sign. We got money to spend, so we're going to go spend it. We can only do 1 more negotiation. Really no good. Let's see about left guards. We glossed over this. Ezra Cleveland. What's the rating of our left guard again? Because something tells me that that's about the same rating if we were to bring him in. So I don't know if I want to do that. Tackle. 79. Yeah, that's going to be basically in the same boat. I think the rest of our offensive line, I think we're just going to keep what we have intact, really. All right, so let's move on to defense for our last negotiation of this period, because we can only do 5 during the first stretch. So let's see about defensive line, because we need some help there for sure. There's some guys here. Justin Matabuke is the highest rate, I think, free agent available. But Christian Wilkins, I think, would be a solid investment. 87 overall, 3 years. Yeah, we're his only offer. All right. So this is who we're targeting for the first wave of free agency. It's not really too appealing, but here's who we got. We got Christian Wilkins. We got Connor Williams, Curtis Samuel, A.J. Jackson, and Keithan Carter. So let's see who we get out of these guys. And after we sign this first wave, I'm going to take another look at the team and see in the second wave who we got to target. I got to imagine maybe taking a look at linebackers, corners for sure. I mean, really any position. I think any position really can be upgraded right now with the way that this team is structured. All right, so let's see Who we got? Who we got to sign? So Christian Wilkins is still considering our offer. He's got another offer from the Patriots. But we got Connor Williams, we got Curtis Samuel, A.J. Jackson, and Keithan Carter. So we've signed everybody outside of Christian Wilkins who we've targeted. So let's get back a little bit and, let's just see what else is out there. So Davian Clowney's off the board. These guys are really super interested in not only that, but they don't really fit our scheme. So let's take a look at corners. Steven Nelson. I think that's be a good investment because we need some corner help for sure. He doesn't want anything too expensive, so we'll give him a 1-year deal and see if this is any good. Free safeties. Don't need a whole lot of help there, but Deshaun Elliott does fit our scheme, so let's go kickers. So we need a new one of these. Let's bring in Koo. I know I've brought him in for other rebuilds before, but I'm going to bring him in again so we can get our kicker position solidified. As far as quarterbacks, I still think we need to bring in somebody. Kind of challenge Will a little bit here. The top guy is Kirk, but 79 is not too spectacular. But if I do this 3-year deal for Minshew, I just don't think that would be super worth it. Because I really am considering that Will could just develop if he just gets a chance to play the full season. So I think I'm just going to go with that. I don't really think there's too much more that we could actually do in terms of, who else is really out here, This draft is going to be one where we're just going to have to find some, potential starters if we can. So we still got Wilkins, Nelson, and Koo. So we're going to stay pat right now. We're going to see if we get any of these guys. Hopefully we're able to get Wilkins because that would be a big boost for our defensive line if we're able to sign him. Let's advance. Let's see here. Well, I know during the third wave of free agency, the negotiation amount is unlimited. So let's see who we got. So we did get Christian Wilkins to sign after all, so that's a big boost for the defense. We did get Steven Nelson, and we did get Koo. So I think this is our free agency class, guys. I think this is all we're really going to invest in. These are, guys that some of them are filling positions of need that we have right away, especially center, because we didn't have any centers on the roster. So hopefully bringing in Connor Williams, a scheme fit guy, also will definitely help out with the offense. So we'll see. So let's take a look at the roster, because I want to make sure that everything is kind of at least situated to an extent before we get into the draft. Yeah, Curtis Samuel, I think is, definitely a solid investment there. Somebody else wearing number 4? Pretty sure they are. Let me see if I can change that. Yeah, it's Stonehouse, our punter. Somebody wearing number 1? Because I feel like Curtis Samuel wore number 1 at one point. Let's give him number 11. So hopefully bringing in Samuel will give, another solid target for Levis, and we also got, of course, Burks. Both of these are scheme fit guys, so hopefully that'll help out a little bit. Also, we still have Phillips. Of course, Moore is the guy that we let walk, so he'll fill in some voids right away. I think I'm going to rock with the current tight end we have, Okonwu. Bringing in Jackson's going to be help out on the offensive line. I don't think we're going to do better than a 7 overall Peter Skorinski. But Connor Williams coming in, I think, is a nice boost. Can I give him a number maybe in the 50s, kind of like he used to wear in Dallas? I don't know if I can, but we'll see. Yeah. Let's give him number 52, like he used to wear in Dallas. I remember that. All right. Right guard, 74. And free, 70. Okay, so the good thing is that our offensive line has gotten a little bit better in free agency in the offseason because, Dillard was a 69 overall, so we got 70, 79, 83, 74, and 70. So our best offensive lineman is now Connor Williams. We do still need some depth at right guard and center. But as far as left guard and left tackle, we got a lot of tackles. So I think we're pretty good there. So left end, we need some depth there. We could, you know what? I think I may look at some left defensive end depth behind Autry and see if there's somebody else there. I mean, Wilkins honestly could probably go to left end. So you know what? Let's change him to be our left end and kind of move Autry into maybe more of a backup role. Even though we showed him love and we signed him, I think putting Wilkins over there will help. I mean, it'll be the same position, so it kind of makes him a little bit flexible. So yeah, now we've got an 87 overall. Although it took away his puzzle piece thing, but still. Oh yeah, defensive tackle. Okay, we just need to go out and get a defensive tackle. Linebacking core I think still definitely needs work. Okay, so for the last wave of free agency, let's get some backups. Let's get a backup right outside linebacker and just a defensive tackle because we have no defensive tackles on the roster right now. Steven Nelson automatically becomes our best corner in front of McCreary and Caleb Farley. I forgot he was on the roster. And Kendall. And we need depth at free safety as well. Okay, all right. So I think I know what I got to do for this last wave. We just got to get at least a defensive tackle. That's the biggest thing. We got to get a defensive tackle on this roster. But the defensive tackles that were available, none of them really were fitting our scheme, number one. And also, it just, wasn't looking too promising. Well, Michael Pierce, actually. Okay, well, I had him in the Raiders rebuild, so I'm going to give him in this one as well. But you know what? We're going to go a little bit player-friendly. We're going to go with a 2-year deal because, we need defensive tackle help, and we're looking for him to be our starter. And that puts us above the Cardinals, so that's pretty big. So let's go ahead and actually get another defensive tackle while we're here. Let's go ahead and get Greg Gaines on a 1-year deal, just because we have no defensive tackles on our current roster. We need to get defensive tackles in here. We have $32 million left, so we still got money to spend for sure. All right, so let's get back to linebackers. Yeah, we need a backup right outside linebacker. That's what we need to go after. DJ Wonham. But you know what? I think Bud Dupree would be a better option. 70 overall. I remember I think the Titans did draft him, if I recall. Or maybe he signed after he got let go by the Steelers. So we're basically bringing him back to Tennessee on a 1-year deal. And you know what? I think we need to get some more corners because we don't have a lot of depth there. Bringing in Nelson definitely shoots him up to the top of the depth chart, but we need to get at least another corner in here who is a scheme fit guy. There's probably not a lot of decent guys to pick from. Can we get somebody that's in like the low 70s at least? Miles Bryant. He's not really interested in coming here, but let's see if a 2-year deal will swing him a little bit. All right. So for the Broncos are actually above him. So let's upgrade our offer. This is pretty player friendly for him, considering what other offers he really has outside of us. But I just need some corner depth. So we may be overpaying just a little bit to bring in Bryant, but just to get some corner depth in here, I think it's worth the risk a little bit. Okay, so we've targeted Michael Pierce, Greg Gaines, we've targeted Bryant, and we've targeted Bud Dupree. So this will be the last wave of free agency that we do anything in. So let's see if we get any of these guys. All right. All right. Free agency recap. Let's see if we got the rest of the players that we wanted. Okay, so we did get Pierce. We did get Gaines. We got Bryant. And we got Bud Dupree to come back. Cool. All right. So, because of what we did, let's go ahead and get through this. Now it's draft time. Let's take a look at Mock Draft 5 based on what we've done in free agency and see what they're projecting us to do. Something tells me they still may project us to take a quarterback, which would not be surprising. And I don't know, guys, the temptation. Oh, you know what? Left tackle Joe Alt out of Notre Dame. That actually might be a good investment. Now, I mean, left tackle is actually pretty good, but you know what? Getting a top 5 left tackle for a quarterback that we are going to invest in, I think is going to be worth it. Now, one thing I am thinking about doing is drafting a quarterback in either the second or the third round, maybe in one of the later rounds to get depth behind here, behind both Levis and Davis. So that's what I'm thinking. But if Joe Alt is there, I think I may go snag him with the 7th overall pick. We do have a top 10 pick, and we're basically going to have a choice of taking a top 5 rated offensive lineman in the draft, which I think would be a decent thing to do to help Will out. Okay, so let's go ahead and get through this final bit of the free agency period, and let's get to the draft. Let's see what we can do. All right, start the NFL draft.
Next
We're on the
up,
clock.
The Tampa Bay Buccaneers are on the clock.
All right, here we go. So Latham was selected before. So Joe Alt is still there. He fits our scheme, top 5. We're going to take him. Welcome to the Tennessee Titans. First pick of the rebuild, left tackle Joe Alt at 7th overall out of Notre Dame. Big fella. Big boost for the offensive line. That's probably the biggest group that we need to help out, especially during the early years of this rebuild. Really got to revamp that group up there. All right. So, Troy Franklin actually could be a solid pick here actually as well. So you know what, we're actually going to go after him. We're going to get another playmaking receiver here for this offense. Going with Troy Franklin. Second round.
The Tennessee Titans are now on the clock.
All right, I want to take a look at quarterbacks here and see if there are any quarterbacks that are rated decently. Okay, there really aren't. But what quarterbacks... Okay, so a lot of these guys are projected to be day 3 guys. Well, we are on day 3. None of them fit our scheme, though. It's a little bit discouraging. But you know what? We're gonna take a gamble here, and we're gonna take. Man, I don't know. Okay, you know what? We'll wait till the next round. You know what? We do need some corner depth, so we're going to take TJ Tampa. I know he doesn't fit our scheme, but out of Iowa State, we're going to take him. Get some more cornerback depth in here. Get some help. So we actually are not picking until the 7th round. So we actually didn't have a lot of picks in this draft. I didn't know that.
It's the Tennessee Titans now on the clock.
So we have picks here, but we're not really getting a chance to take any good cream of the crop, if you will. So we got 2 more picks left. And you know what? Just because we need some depth, let's go and get another center. Charles Turner III out of LSU. We're going to draft him. Might not be the best idea, but we just took a player that we need, so we're going to do that. All right. And we have the last pick of the draft. And we're going to take a quarterback. I don't care. We're going to take a quarterback. And actually, Cameron Rising is the highest rated guy out of Utah, so we're going to take him. I think he's a real player, but I could be wrong. We're going to take him with the last pick of the draft. Wanted to kind of take a guy that was more highly rated, in like the 2nd or 3rd round, but we went with Cameron Rising. So we didn't have a whole lot of picks in this year's draft, but hopefully next year we'll have more picks, and I'll be able to help out. So let's take a look at the draft recap here. Obviously, we still got a lot of work to do. But 1st round pick, Joe Alt, left tackle out of Notre Dame. 2nd round pick, Troy Franklin, receiver out of Oregon. TJ Tampa, corner of Iowa State, was our 4th round pick. And we had 2 7th round picks, and that was it. We had 5 picks in this draft, and that was it. Charles Turner III, center out of LSU, that was a need. And we took Cameron Rising, quarterback out of Utah. Just somebody to get in here to possibly challenge Will for the job, but I don't expect Rising to do a whole lot. So let's take a look at maybe adjusting the roster, with like the numbers of players and stuff like that. We'll take a look at that and see if I want to do anything there. So I do think that Cameron Rising is a real player. Cameron Rising, yeah, he's a real player out of Utah. All right, where's number 7? But Malik Willis wears number 7. So we're going to keep Rising wearing number 13. Actually, let's just have Rising wear number 17 because Ryan Tannehill's no longer here. All right, our rookie 7th round draft choice, 58 overall. Not good. Running back room, pretty much the same. Spears is up to an 81, so that's kind of solid. Keithan Carter, Keithan Carter, well, his actual position is tight end. So he does wear 82, but he's listed as a fullback. So we're going to keep him wearing 82. He's basically a hybrid. I guess Troy Franklin, didn't Curtis Samuel wear another number? Like ever since he got drafted by the Commanders. Okay, so he wore number 10, but that's Hawkins' number. Okay, all right. So we'll keep Franklin wearing number 12, and we're just going to go with that. We only have 2 tight ends. Joe Alt, let me see. Joe Alt, 76. Well, Andrew Rupchich, there's number 76. So you know what? We're going to change his number. To 74. And we're going to give Alt his college number, 76. 74 overall to start. Not bad for our 1st round pick, especially considering a top 5 tackle in the draft. Pretty excited about Alt as our 1st round pick. He's a day 1 starter, it looks like. He looks the part, and he's already up to number 1 on the depth chart in terms of left tackle. Doesn't really, I guess getting A.J. Jackson might not have made a whole lot of sense, but, it helps with depth, so that's what we're going with. All right, center. Now, Charles Turner III, I'm pretty sure, was not a real player, so we're just going to keep him wearing number 69. Let's see, do we have extra left guards? Okay, I think we may need... Let's see if we can move one of these left tackles to guards. Who's the lowest rated guy? Jalen Duncan. All right, I don't know if this is really going to help But let's move him to right guard and see if that helps out. Well, it's going to help out the depth, but I doubt it's going to. But I doubt his overall is going to stay the same. It's probably going to dip. Yeah, Duncan's set 63, so it is what it is. Chris Hubbard, Christian Wilkins, Autry, Jeffrey Simmons. We could have used, if we had more picks, I would have gotten another defensive tackle. Let me see if we can maybe put a defensive. No, we can't. We don't even have enough depth for that. Maybe a linebacker. This Caleb Murphy guy, I want to see if maybe I can move him to maybe one of the defensive end spots, and maybe see, try to move him around, and maybe put one of the defensive tackles over at over there. But this may not help out very much. Well, Murphy stays at a 65. Don't know if Autry moving a defensive tackle would be the best idea, but let's just see what that does to his rating. It probably won't really help, but... Okay, it actually made him go up a little bit, so he's now at a 79. Okay, so that actually might help out a little bit with our defensive tackle depth. Key... Still looking okay. Middle linebackers, got a bunch of guys. Landry, and of course we brought back Bud Dupree. TJ Tampa, let's see if he's a real player because I'm not 100% sure. TJ Tampa, okay, well his combine stuff's coming up right away. Okay, so he is a real player out of Iowa State. But he wears number 2. Well, he wore number 2, and that's the starting middle linebacker's number, so he's going to rock that. Hopefully Tampa can develop a little bit, but we'll see. All right, well, we're going to have... let's see if I can kick one of these corners to free safety. Let me see about Kendall. I mean, this is a guy that's basically last on the cornerback depth chart, so, kid, if you want to make any moves... I want you out. I want to see if you can go out there at free safety and do anything for us. I don't think that's really going to help his rating because he was already rated pretty low. Yeah, that drops him to a 58, but it makes him fit our scheme, so not the worst thing, I guess, but, we just need depth back there. All right, so I think this is it. Quarterback room still is... not very good. I mean, Will is at a 69 overall, but he is going into this season as the unopposed starter. Malik Willis is not going to be challenging Will for the job, and I just want to see if, Will is the answer. If he just can't do it this next season, then we may look to invest in another rookie quarterback, maybe like a Drew Allar or something like that. But that's what we're going with. We're going to go with Will for his sophomore year, let him get the whole season, hopefully let him develop a little bit more. Hopefully he hasn't hit his ceiling just yet, if you know what I mean. Because if he has, then it's going to be pretty tough to get him any better than he is right now. Because 69 is, not nice, despite what everybody else says. All right. Well, that's going to wrap it up for this part 1. Thank y'all for tuning in. Like I mentioned in the last rebuild at the end of the stream, wasn't trying to sound too much like that, hey, I'm done with PS4 Madden. It's more of that, I'll be looking to move on because of the new college football video game, so obviously that's going to be something I'm going to be looking for. But these will continue for a little bit. I'm going to try the best I can to not finish this Titans rebuild until I actually finish it, because I know with the Raiders one, I basically gave up after we lost the Super Bowl pretty much, so yeah. But anyway, thank you guys for tuning in, and I will see you guys next week with more of the Tennessee Titans rebuild in Madden 24.